Imagine you're a citizen of Tibet. You're protesting and protecting the Potala Palace as the Chinese PLA closes in. Shooting machine guns and artillery shells towards you. You hear the explosions and see your fellow citizens die as this blood spurs the walls and floors around you. As you get hit, you pray for the future Tibetans to fight on. We are these future Tibetans. Hello, my name is Tenzin Chokab Gindler. I'm a 14-year-old Tibetan boy who is a part of the Tibetan Advocacy Group known as VTAG. If anyone wants to know about this organization, please talk to me or Chulun Tola. I also pay my respects to the traditional custodians of this land who are part of the oldest surviving continuous cultures on Earth. I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Now without further ado, I'll explain the history of Tibet and the importance of joining these protests. 10th of March 1959. Tibetan Uprising Day was the day when hundreds of thousands of Tibetans stood up against the Chinese Communist Party, defending the Nobulinka Palace so that the Dalai Lama would not attend a theater event held by the communists, which was rumored to be a disguise to assassinate His Holiness. Even after the Dalai Lama announced he wasn't going to attend, the Tibetans still stayed in fear that the Chinese Communist Party would try to kidnap their leader. The 12th of March 1959 was Women's Uprising Day. Hundreds of thousands of Tibetan women surrounded the Potala Palace in protest of Tibetan independence. During this protest, women appealed to the Indian consulate in Lhasa for help. 13th of March 1959 was one, if not the largest demonstration ever to occur in Lhasa. Hundreds of thousands of Tibetans rejected the 17-point agreement, the agreement that the Chinese forced the Tibetans to sign in the year of 1949. The agreement provided national regional autonomy under the leadership of the Central People's Government of China. The 14th of March 1959, thousands of women gathered outside of the Potala Palace once more in protest led by Kutin Kunsang. Kutin Kunsang was later apprehended and executed. The 15th of March 1959 was the first preparations for the escape of the 14th Dalai Lama. 16th of March 1959, the home of the Dalai Lama is in jeopardy as the Chinese heavy artillery is being moved into Lhasa and in range of Nobulinka. Rumors spread of Chinese troops being flown from China. 17th of March, 2 Chinese artillery shells are fired towards the Potala Palace. Members of the Dalai Lama's family, including his mother, secretly escape. They are followed by the Dalai Lama himself, who leaves the Nobulinka dressed as a soldier, carrying a rifle and covering his face with a skull. 18th of March 1959. Even though the Dalai Lama successfully escaped, the People Liberation Army, or the PLA, continued to kill countless people and bombard the Potala Palace, believing that His Holiness was still inside. 19th of March, protesters seized machine guns and fights break out in Lhasa. The news of the Dalai Lama's disappearance from Potala Palace rapidly spread, but many people still believed that His Holiness was still inside. 20th of March, the PLA was ordered to take control of Lhasa. Artillery shells were fired towards the crowd surrounding Nobulinka as they heard about His Holiness's escape. 21st of March, photo evidence of the Dalai Lama and his escape party crossing the Zangala Pass at this day in 1959. In Lhasa, Chinese soldiers blew up the gates of Nobulinka energy. The Chokan Temple was also under heavy artillery fire and was encircled by soldiers. 23rd of March, after several days of fighting, the Chinese military took control of Chokan Temple and raised the Chinese flag from its roof. 26th of March, His Holiness formally declared Tibet as a free and independent country. 31st of March, the Dalai Lama crossed the Indian border where he was escorted by the Indian guards towards the town of Bondila. He was reported resting in a Tala monastery 15 miles in India. The 10th of March sparked the beginning of a broad protest, fights, and deaths. It was the beginning of a revolution. The day the people from generations before started to fight, to rebel. It was the day that sparked tragedy, sadness, but also hope. The peaceful protest was violently crushed by the Tibetans and the People's Liberation Army, killing at least 87,000 Tibetan men, women, and children. Thousands were arrested and sent to Chinese communist labor and re-education camps. Thousands of Tibetans' sacred and century-old religious sites were destroyed. This day is the embodiment of this tragedy. This day is to make sure these sacrifices of these brave and courageous Tibetans do not die in vain. We protest, we fight, we are here. Australia is a country more than 3 hours ahead of mostly every other country. So let's set an example. To show the Tibetans around the world, the people around the world, this is our protest, this is our fight, we won't lose. Tibetan kids around the globe, this is your time to rise, to fight. We are the future of Tibet. We are the Tibetans that will bring Tibet to its former glory. I encourage, I urge both Tibetans old and young to protest, fight, and shine. This is your time to rise and show the world you are here. Thank you and Pekalo.
We thank you for your love, we thank you for your admiration, but we actually need your action. That I woke up. And from that moment onwards, I made it my business to find out exactly in detail, without romancing, without legend, creating this beautiful legend with the Patala Palace, etc., etc., etc. I wanted to find out the real stuff, and I did, and it's...
This opportunity to offer my sincere apologies to you. We know that the Chinese Communist regime are different entity as we Chinese. But the Chinese Communist regime is Chinese dominated regime. So we share the Quran committed by the Chinese Communist regime against you.
3,000 Tibetan refugees have found safety and are able to speak truth to power. As much as 10th March marks the dispossession of our people and the loss of our homeland, it is also a day to show the colonizers that our resistance has not stopped and will not stop. 65 years on, our call for free Tibet is loud as new generations of exiled Tibetans pick up the mantle from our elders despite the Chinese government campaign to silence the Tibetans within Tibet and beyond its borders. China's control of Tibet is predicted on racism, denial of fundamental human rights and self-determination and destruction of everything that is uniquely Tibetan. Our culture, language, religion, with the sole purpose of annihilating our people and assimilating Tibet into China. China's President Xi Jinping is on an atheist state consolidating its control of Tibetan Buddhism with a plan to interfere in the reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama, the revered spiritual leader of Tibet. Tibetans are facing a cultural genocide. At the heart of China's colonial project is the forced removal of Tibetan children from their parents into Chinese state-run boarding schools to cut entire generations of Tibetans from our culture, community and history, a practice that must haunt Australians of the stolen generation. Nearly 1 million Tibetan children, 80% of children in Tibet, from as young as 4, are separated from families and handed to agents of Chinese state to raise them to speak a new language and develop a new culture and worldview. Once proud Tibetan nomads and farmers are now removed from their ancestral land, stripped of the way of life that has sustained them for generations and forced into low-paid industry. Meanwhile, the rich natural resources are stolen from the Tibetan people to fuel the growing demands of the Chinese economy, including critical minerals such as lithium and copper that are critical to powering mobile phones and electric cars.
Tibet belongs to Tibet! Tibet belongs to Tibet!
Tibetan is really suffering. They have no liberation. They have no any give Tibetan people for freedom. They are suffering. This is why we come here. China must give our country back. If we not give our country back, we can't continue here. We are never can continue here. But you must know, the communist government, you must know China is very dangerous world. You must know the world. United Nations, European Parliament, United States, all wake up, need to help Tibetan. This is not only Tibetan problem, there also Uyghur, Xinjiang, and the Chinese own peoples.
今天是西藏自由抗暴65周年，澳大利亚西藏协会再次和西藏人民站在一起。在这个深受暴力冲突创伤的世界里，澳大利亚西藏协会对西藏人民在达赖喇嘛尊者的指导下，在长达数十年的争取自由和人权的斗争中，持续致力于非暴力和民主表示尊重和钦佩。澳大利亚西藏协会对中国政府近年来将上百万西藏儿童强行送入国营寄宿制学校，计划从根本上消除藏人独特的身份，将汉化藏人政策贯彻到底做法进行谴责。在这些学校中，每4名藏人学生中就有3名年仅4岁的学生被迫与父母分离，并剥夺了以自己的语言和文化接受教育的机会。澳大利亚西藏协会谴责中共打压西藏宗教自由，包括试图控制藏传佛教的转世制度。澳大利亚西
Send China. Actually, I deeply admire your courage, your resilience, and your wisdom in fighting against Chinese communist tyranny. You suffer so much from the Chinese communist regime, but we Chinese also suffer not less than you. Actually, you are lucky than us. You at least you have maintained your culture, maintained your religion, maintained your language. We Chinese not only occupied by the Communist Party, but they uprooted with Chinese culture. We lost everything, including our heart and soul. Actually, the Chinese communist regime are not only the enemy of Tibetans, they are also enemy of the Chinese, of all the nations under the communist rule. Actually, by virtue of monstrous crimes against humanity, they are the enemy of the entire humankind. They are the enemy of the 7 billion people around the world. I actually very grateful for your leader, His Holiness Dalai Lama, who promote the friendship between Chinese and Tibetans. He spent no effort in doing that. And that effort has achieved great result. Today actually you can see the very close relationship between the two peoples. Today actually thousands and thousands of Chinese around the world join Tibetans to memorize this Tibetan uprising day today. Let's fight together in solidarity against this monstrous regime. As long as we can unite our force to take coordinated effort, we will be able to bring down this horrible regime. As I said, the Chinese Communist Party not only occupies China, they also replace Chinese culture with this murderous, toxic Chinese communism. So let's get them out of China, get them bury it in the history, and we firmly believe when we fight together, freedom will prevail. Thank you very much.
Nha, vô đó chơi. Chơi chữ đã. Cứ dầm lười. Cứ dầm lười.
Today, as we contemplate on the future of Tibet, we cannot ignore the developing events in Tibet and beyond.
the powerful nations continue to forge alliances and China's economy continues to decline. Increasing and intensified suppression of fundamental rights of Tibetans and implementation of oppressive policies have resulted in an unprecedented threat to the survival of distinct Tibetan national identity. The PRC government
unjust political imprisonment. My heart is heavy with the burdens of our people, yet my spirit burns bright with the flames of justice. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to confront the recent displacement of thousands of our people in Dege County for the construction of a new dam. This project, part of the Chinese Communist Party's initiatives, threatens to obliterate several ancient Tibetan Buddhist monasteries and villages, displacing thousands of Tibetans whose communities have flourished alongside the river for many generations. This callous disregard for the livelihoods and sacred spaces of our people is an intolerable offense. For centuries, Tibetan communities have flourished along the Dichu River, contributing to its ecological and cultural richness. Yet they have been denied any say in the construction of this dam, the displacement of our communities, or the destruction of their monasteries.
无法阻断全世界藏人对家国的眷恋。